Hi, and thank you for joining me here at Las Colinas Golf and Country Club. We're on the putting green and I'm going to explain to you the 4 skills that you need to perform better on the greens. So thank you for joining me here at Las Colinas Golf and Country Club. And yes, we are talking about putting in this particular video. Now, the video today is not going to give you any technical information. It's not going to give you anything that you can do which is instantly going to improve your putting. But what we are going to do is talk about what I call the 4 skills of putting, explain to you what they are, show you a really simple way how you can monitor or test each of these skills. And what I think you'll find will happen following this video is you'll be able to assess your putting a little bit more accurately. And when you get a chance to practice, you'll be able to practice the specific part of your putting that needs the work. Hopefully this video will make more sense as we progress through. So what are the 4 skills of putting? Well, skill number 1 is the ability to hit the ball at the middle of the club. So we call that strike. So can I strike the ball from the middle of the club? There's number 1 skill. Number 2 skill is, can I control the pace? So can I get the ball to travel along the green the correct distance? That distance is obviously going to be related to the hole. So there's our second skill. Number 3 would be, can I read the green? Can I judge the slopes and the breaks that are on the green? Because as we all know, the courses that we play are generally going to have some amount of slopes on the green. And skill number 4 is, once I've chosen a line, so maybe I've read the putt, let's say I believe this is just from the left edge, have I got the ability to start the ball on that intended line? So we've got strike, we've got pace, we've got green read, and we've got start line. And we ultimately need to be able to be pretty good at controlling those 4 things. So as I say, this video is going to be split into little 4 sections, and we're going to start with strike. So striking the ball at the middle of the putter is key. This is a really simple test that you can do to ensure that you're striking it from the middle. You will notice that I have placed 2 tee pegs just slightly wider than my putter head. You can make this as easy or as hard as you want by moving the tees either further away or closer. Probably not a bad idea to start with them fairly wide and then just get them a little bit narrower. So the idea really is, can I take my setup, hit a putt and miss the tee pegs? Okay, and I managed to do that one pretty well, didn't hit the tee pegs. Let me just have another go at that. But I really want to be able to practice this until I feel fairly comfortable that I can consistently miss those tee pegs. Let's get that board in the middle, would help. Okay, not quite as good a putt that time, but still I missed the tee pegs and I struck it at the middle. You may well be surprised at how many of you actually find it difficult to hit the middle of the putter. But this little exercise is a great way that you can train strike, because if you can get the ball at the middle, we get more efficiency in the direction and we get a truer roll. The ball tends to travel the same distance every time. So now we're going to look at one of the other skills. We're looking at pace. Now, pace or distance is probably one of the easiest to monitor, because you're normally going to be putting towards a target. That's normally the hole. You normally will have an idea about how fast you want that ball to roll into the hole, and therefore you can judge whether that ball had too much pace, too little pace, or about right. Just an example here, I've placed a tee peg around about maybe 5 feet past the hole, just to give myself another target. So if I was working on my pace, I might put to the hole and see if I can judge that correctly. Okay, so pretty good pace that one. I might then change my target and I might try and put to the tee peg which is past it. And again, that was pretty good pace. So great little exercises here just to see how good you are at controlling pace. You may find there's a pattern, either you're too long or you're too short. Make a note of that pattern, because that's going to be really key when you're practicing to start to really work on these skills that you need to develop. So next we're going to look at start line. So let's say, for argument's sake, I've read this green, I've read the putt. I need to be able to start the ball on that intended line. It's no good reading the putts correctly if I'm unable to start it where I choose. So a putting gate is absolutely fantastic for working on start line. You can see I've placed it probably about a foot in front of my golf ball. And the idea would be, very simply, can I get the ball to travel through that gate? Okay, and that one obviously went through the gate. This is difficult. Trust me, I mean, that gate's relatively small. If you haven't got a putting gate, again, you can just use 2 T-pegs. And again, you can make that more easy, more difficult, just by adjusting how far or how close those T-pegs are. So a putting gate is going to enable you to establish whether you can consistently start that ball on line. Again, you may well notice a pattern. You may well always miss this on the right. You may well always miss it on the left. Right, finally, let's take a look at green reading. So green reading can be a little bit more tricky to monitor and establish whether we're good at this or not. We're also going to use this putting gate as well. Now, I've intentionally read this putt incorrectly. So I think it's going to come probably from about 6 inches from the right-hand side. So in practice, what I'd like you to do is actually read the putt, establish what break you think is on there, and then use the putting gate on the start line that you've chosen. Now, let me show you what would happen here. I've chosen my line. I'm going to start my ball on that line. Okay, so you can see I hit the ball exactly through the gate, which tells me I started the ball on the line that I chose. But you can see from where the ball finished that the line that I chose was incorrect. So that tells me it wasn't a poor stroke. I didn't misstrike it. It wasn't that I pushed it. I started on the line that I chose. It was the line that I chose that was incorrect. So a putting gate can be good for 2 things. It can really help you with your start line, but it can also then help you establish whether your green reading is correct or if it's poor. And again, like the others, you may well find there's a tendency you overread the putts, you underread the putts. So when we're looking at really trying to develop someone's putting and get them actually to perform better on the golf course, we really need to establish which of these 4 skills they're good at, which they need more practice at. And really these little methods that we're using here to monitor them is how you're going to establish whether you're good at that. So for me, I know, for example, that my strike is generally pretty good. I'm pretty good at starting the ball on my intended line. My pace is always the weakest part of my putting, and my green reading can be a little bit iffy. But again, what it's doing for me is that when I've got a chance to practice, I know exactly what I'm going to practice. I'm going to practice pace, and I'm going to practice green reading, and I can do drills which are specific to those skills. Putting as a whole is not the skill. There are skills within putting. We need to monitor those, we need to track those, we need to practice those, because it may well be that you think it's the green read that's wrong, but it may well be that you just can't start the ball on line. It may well be that your strike is poor, and that's causing the ball to come off at the wrong speed. So 4 skills, test yourself on the putting green. Monitor those 4 skills. Let me know in the comments box what you're good at, what you're not good at. Be interesting to get your thoughts and be interested if there's any patterns from you, the viewers, to see whether there's any trends that we see in those skills. But a couple of T-pegs, putting gate, hole, putting green, putter, it's all you need. You can do some real good, efficient work on your putting and really get to the nitty-gritty of why you're maybe not holding as many putts as you'd like to when you're out on the golf course. Thanks for watching. Massive thanks to Las Colinas for hosting me for a couple of days. I'm sure you'll agree the course looks fantastic. Greens are absolutely immaculate for this time of year. If you ever get a chance to get here and play, I would definitely recommend it. Well worth a visit. Usual stuff is down below. Comments box, like button, and I would love you to be, I should say, one of my free subscribers. There's a button just over there which will allow you to do that. It just means that you won't miss any of the videos. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.